Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to take a little peek at a today's topic video for the 8th and also for the 9th. Okay, I know the 8th is just about over, but let's go ahead and see what is the big takeaway message. Hang on. I'm going to swap decks here and go for an oracle deck. What is the message for the 8th? We have the Thinker. Card 44. All right, so the 8th might have been a day for some deep thought, some deep pondering. Now we have like a little fairy feminine over here who's been kind of just in deep contemplation. And it is about, you notice how she's kind of like sitting on the top of a building. There's other taller buildings around, and she's kind of like on the roof. To me, this says somebody is trying to get the higher perspective. They're trying to, go up on the roof, like Benny King says in the song, when this old world keeps getting you down and all the da, da, da. Oh God, I can't think of the rest of the lyrics right now. But it's like, it's such a nice, Benny King and the Drifters had so many awesome songs. But it's a really nice melody, and it's about, getting up above it all and, cooling down. And so maybe we have a character, we have observer. We keep seeing a feminine is doing a lot of observing. Okay. So hi guys, Santa, Annette, so wonderful to see you both. This could be a feminine was thinking, and then I don't know if this is somebody else, but he or she is in fox mode. I don't know what gender the fox might be. But they've been spying from a distance. She, I don't think, is the one who's been looking somebody up. I think she's been thinking about someone. And ironically, today could be the day that the fox is secretly checking her out. You know what's so weird? I'm just going to say it's like right now, like in this very moment, whomever she's thinking of is like currently looking up something of hers. Social media, of course, is everywhere. So that's a really easy way to keep tabs on somebody. But this could be at night. Now it's night where I am, right? Because I'm on the West Coast. So it's night. And I only say it's night because we have the moon here, and he is definitely spying. I'm going to say this is a King of Swords, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. She has no clue at all that he is looking her up. Hi guys, Jeannie Vale. Hi babe, Alicia. So nice to see you guys. Just FYI, I know I've been away a bit this week, but I will probably go live again this week. I think we need some good vibes, so I think we're going to do some storytellings possibly tomorrow for a little bit on the channel. Just in general, give me a chance to say thank you to you guys and maybe share some good vibes because we need it right now. And so I just want to hang out with you guys a little bit. I was, just mulling over things over the last day and a half, I wasn't in storytelling mode because I was thinking about life instead, and just what is happening in the world around us. And, like what it settles me on is I'm just a mere fictional storyteller, but at the same time, this is such a wonderful sacred space where I get to connect with people from all around the world that are so awesome. And I feel like those connections are so important to me. And it's so important to have like a great space with amazing people. So I want to kind of celebrate that tomorrow. So look for that tomorrow. This comes across like the divine masculine in this case, and we'll call him now the King of Swords, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, has been spying on her. He's the fox, and she is oblivious to this. I don't know if she has him blocked somehow. Let me see. We have the Six of Swords upright. Alicia, right back at you, babe. Love you guys. We get that Six of Swords. She's been, if anything, here she is again in thinking mode, right? Same body posture and everything. She's been trying to detach. Is she trying to detach from him? Is that what this is all about? Has she been trying to detach from this King of Swords? Ooh, yeah, she has been, because this is him again, Knight of Swords. Oh, he can feel it. He knows something's up with her. He knows it. He had this idea all of a sudden that she's building mountains. Like, okay, so we're jumping into sci-fi territory right now, but I almost feel like he's picturing her like You know, in like sci-fi movies, I think it was in like Children of the Damned, where it was like, don't let the kids read our mind. You have to think of a brick wall. I picture he can tell that there is like a mountain that she is constructing in her mind to prevent him from seeping into her thoughts anymore. I don't know how he knows this. Maybe he's very attuned to her, and we see him out here, Mr. Sneaky Fox. We see him out here thinking in his own mind. Like, I can just tell. I can literally just tell. I know that's what she's doing. It's harder for my energy to connect to her. Maybe that's why I'm spying. Whew, Judgment card sideways. She's literally giving up. She's really, truly saying, I'm leaving this, even this potential. I'm over this. I don't want this. I don't want this in my head anymore. And I damn sure don't want to cry about it anymore. So that's what she's been thinking about is, I gotta let it go. This is too tumultuous for me to remember. It's too tumultuous for me to think about anymore. So I think I need to go ahead and release this somehow. 7 of Cups. Her mind has been turning away from thoughts of him and onto other things. And I don't think he likes that at all. I mean, I think he's aware that some other things are on her mind. I'm not at the forefront of her mind anymore. No, she's thinking about other wishes. She's thinking about doing things differently. Can I just ask, Feminine, why are you in this headspace of wanting to think about other things instead? 7 of Wands upright. Why is she in that headspace on the 8th? Because there's been enough blockage, and she feels like he turned his back to this quite some time ago. And so why would I have this person on my mind who clearly has turned their back on me? Okay, Masculine, she thinks that you have turned around. Is that the case? 3 of Wands, he says, no, it was all like future planning. She's done thinking about you. I don't know if he ever asked her out and she's just like, look, I'm done thinking about him ever going to ask me out. But with that Judgment card sideways, it looks a little bit more like she's saying, I don't think we'll ever reconcile. So this could be somebody that he was intending on reaching out to somewhere in the future, but all of a sudden he knows he can't wait. He cannot wait. How are you getting this memo? King of Swords. 2 of Pentacles and the Sun. He's very clear on this. Whatever this is, he is very clear on the fact that her thoughts of him could go in any direction. She could meet somebody new all of a sudden. There's something about the alarm bell is ringing in his head that is go time, that it's so clear. It's like he's getting a message from the universe the same way. You notice how we keep seeing things way up in the sky. Every time we see him, his heart is up here. His big old head is way up here. He has a light bulb coming on here. We have the compass up here. We have, the alarm clock being held up and the, hats. And then we have the light from the sun. He is having like a big illumination, like, whoa, I need to make this happen. This is ridiculous. It is kind of the nudge from whomever his higher power is, right? Whatever. And we all have our different concept of that. It doesn't matter how we look at it. In this case, it's the energy, of the sunlight coming toward him. It's that light bulb moment. 3 of Cups. It could be he gets the message. Sometimes, a message from the divine can come through someone else's lips. It could come from friends. It could come from his siblings, his sisters. It could come from some chit chat. Somebody could ask him precisely about, like, hey, what about that person you care about? Have you talked to them lately? It could be something like that, or it could be something totally offhanded. He could be overhearing 3 women chit chat, and it could be like he is realizing, oh, wow, this is when a woman's done. This is how she sounds. This is what she does. She disconnects. She hangs out with friends. She starts making plans for her future. She starts talking about how she's done with somebody, how she's been over them for a while, how she doesn't look at their social media anymore, or doesn't, like whatever it is, it's like he's getting that memo, but he might be hearing it on the 8th through total strangers, but he's putting 2 and 2 together and saying, oh my God, she's done with me. I know she is. And I was still planning on coming back in at some point in time, but I can't wait. She's done with me. It really is kind of an annoying story, isn't it? In the sense that if he's just deciding this on the 8th, it's like, why didn't you just pep up your step and course correct stuff? I mean, why wait till she's over you and over the whole thing before then trying to race in the 11th hour? I want to know why, actually. I really do want to know the why to that. Knight of Pentacles. It's interesting because we actually have the feminine on this card, which may indicate that as much as, and I'm not trying to like put this off on her and be like, well, she wasn't really ready, so he couldn't come in until she was ready. But in this story, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? In this story with that Knight of Coins, it looks very much like he has taken a lot of time and thought about this a lot, but it's actually been her that's been moving on from this. So maybe we had to get her under the rainbow to the other side to where she's ready to let him go. So does that mean she's done with him? Is that he's not coming back in? Maybe she needed to get, 8 of Swords, 5 of Swords. Okay, so in this storyline, I know all this time we've been talking about like this King of Swords who was going to come back in someday at some point in time. But it actually says maybe the reason he didn't think about doing it until now when he's realizing, whoa, she's over me. Maybe the reason that light bulb didn't go off until now is because she had been working on the memories, the bad memories with him. Why I don't want him back. Why I don't want to think about this anymore. We already saw her say, I'm done crying. Maybe she needed to get to the point of saying, I don't ever want to be with somebody who leaves me wondering. I don't ever want to be with somebody who has a fight with me and lets me walk away in silence. I don't ever want to do this. I mean, 8 of Swords and 5 of Swords are not nice cards. I'm wondering if she had to get to the point where she doesn't want him back. And then he's like, oh, I'm ready to come back. Hang on. Universe, you want to weigh in on that? Because that kind of looks like maybe these two weren't meant to be. Ace of Wands. The universe simply says characters need to figure out what they actually want. This is a card of desire and inspiration. Sometimes if we aren't operating off of what we want, truly want and desire, we will let the wrong things back into our life. King of Pentacles sideways. He's a King of Swords upright, not a King of Pentacles, not somebody who was sharing. It almost makes me think that the universe is saying maybe he needed to figure out what he truly wanted, and he should have probably made a move on her a long time ago, if that's what he wanted. But also on her part, she needed to get to the point where she is like choosing a partner, not just going to accept somebody who comes back in. Like, I mean, I hate to say it this way, but maybe she needed to always be more choosy. Maybe this kind of behavior doesn't really suit her. And that doesn't mean he's bad or evil. Maybe these two they're not that compatible. I don't know. Universe, are they compatible? The Moon. Universe is like, there's a lot they don't know about each other. There's a whole lot. And in particular, there could be a whole lot she doesn't know about him. He may be somebody that she would not be compatible with at all. The World card says, not everything is a great tragedy if two characters don't end up together. Sometimes, we already saw her say, I'm done. I've been thinking and thinking, and it's time I let him go. I don't want to have to still hurt over somebody. I don't want to wait on somebody. And maybe that is one of the single most important underlying features. If she wants a King of Pentacles, you can't try to get that from a King of Swords. That's not who they are. So in this storyline, maybe it sounds a little bit like the universe was playing was playing games with them both. But I don't think so. I think it was more like they both needed to maybe separate off and come to conclusions. Granted, his conclusion is like, well, I was going to come in and see her later, but I think I'm losing her, so maybe I'll come running in now. But the only thing is, The real story was the universe said, feminine, you should figure out what you really want, because someday they are going to show back up. And is that really the person that you want? Or have you realized maybe you guys aren't that compatible? Know that beforehand so that if you want them, okay, fine, but select them and know what it is you're asking, know what it is you're accepting. Because in this storyline, I don't think she knew or wasn't really using that. She might have accepted somebody who wanted her, but without asking herself, but do I really want them? Do I really feel compatible to them? Okay, now let's get to the message for the 9th. And we'll keep this one just a little bit brief. Sorry, the one for the 8th got so long, especially when the 8th is already over. For the 9th, we have the energy of the 5 of Pentacles. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Strength card. And we have the Queen of Wands. This is heavy energy on the 9th. This is, on one hand, somebody might feel like they're getting, mistreated, stepped on. They may not like that very much. They'd like an apology. But in truth, I don't know. Is that going to be an apology that comes in? Or is this going to be that our feminine, in this case, a Queen of Wands, just like marches off and has success elsewhere? We got strong Leo in this, like really strong fire. This almost feels like it's part 2 from the 8th, and it feels like it's following the story of the divine feminine. It does feel like something that wasn't fulfilling. I've walked away, and I wouldn't want the apology now anyway because it's too thin. It's weak sauce. I don't want the apology. I just want to move on. Can I just move on and be happy and meet somebody else? I'm hearing, oh God, I'm hearing 2 songs now that are blending, and the one has nothing to do with anything, but Jay and the Americans, Come a Little Bit Closer, You're My Kind of Man, which that song doesn't fit. It was just that one line. But then the other one was, Are You Strong Enough to Be My Man? Oh God. Is that Sheryl Crow? Yeah, I think it's Sheryl Crow. I haven't heard that song in so long. 5 of Swords. I definitely feel like a Queen of Wands is making a confident decision that she would rather have somebody she's in harmony with, somebody who makes her really happy, instead of having a situation where she would have to make up with somebody that there's already been a lot of conflict with. And this could be in anything. This doesn't have to be about love and romance. Sometimes, relationships run their course, friendships run their course, and it's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't want to come back to the book club. It was always tense. And even if we're acting like everything's smoothed over, can I just go to some other thing instead of that book club? Maybe I'll join a, chorus instead. It just feels like, look, there's more to do in this life. If something's already, like the fun's already run out, then on the 9th, I don't see her going back to something or even considering, like no amount of apology will fix it. Not because the apology is like unwarranted, but not because she's being sour. She actually just wants to move on and be happy. Moon in the reverse. I feel like we have a story of a divine feminine who's really ready to just be happy elsewhere. Oh, Queen of Cups, 2 of Cups. So it is about love, and it is about possibly a feminine openly choosing greater happiness and being quite certain that there is great happiness out there for her. There is something very special, and it's not going to be the thing that used to leave her feeling lonely. This is not to say she wouldn't forgive somebody, okay? But I would just say that there was some kind of connection that she's certainly contemplating, and she's saying, you know what, that actually only brought me loneliness. So why would I want them to come back in and say sorry? I don't. I just want to have something different, something where somebody doesn't have to say sorry to me because they didn't break my heart. I'd like to fall in love with someone who never broke my heart. She is picking new all day. On the 9th, 4 of Wands, and she's here as a business owner all by herself. First, she's picking her. First, she is saying, oh my God, I feel so much better to have made that decision. So really, it's that the 9th is a decision-making day. I choose to move forward so I can be happy. And that means with somebody else. But first and foremost, let me just be happy in this decision that I've made. God, it feels good to have made that confident, mindset shift. Yes, I know what I want. I know where I want my happiness to be. That's what's going to blossom for me. I'm ready to be first and foremost, content in myself. I'm already like filling my own cup, and I already feel better for having made this really important choice. I don't know if she's like, I'm picturing somebody who does like hair or nails. I know here she's selling flowers. I mean, maybe she does something, artisanal and sells it at the local market, but I'm picturing this as like a stall, like how hair salons have like their chair, and even if they like rent their own salon space or something, still it's kind of like their little environment. That's how this feels to me. Like she kind of has her own thing, whatever this is. She could be an independent contractor, she could be somebody who runs her own business and her own life, and this is one more extension of that. I also run my own heart. I'm honest with myself. I'm not afraid to look in the mirror. And in this case, she's seeing the reflection in the water, but I'm not afraid to ask myself, would I really want someone back that maybe I had so much conflict with? Or am I ready to move forward and meet somebody totally different that I think I could have a ton of happiness with? I think she's ready to date. She knows that's kind of first step is first get happy with myself. I made that great decision. I don't want an ex back. I just want to move forward. And this is her saying, let me see what's out there. Knight of Wands is exploratory. It is, a chance to go out and see what she's going to find. Page of Wands and Three of Wands. That could still be not for the next 3 months. I think first she's working on her business, her fitness, her happiness, her health, her wealth, her, well-being, however we want to look at that. She's first just, this is the decision that she makes on the 9th. And then she puts that plan into play. I'll be flirty. I'll be fun. I'll see what's out there. But before I like really start getting going, I want it to take like 3 months before I actually. So I don't know if she actually dates or she just practices flirting for a little bit, practices like paying attention to who's out there. Cause I don't know that she's seen herself as single and free and ready to look toward her future up until the 9th. I think that is what the message is on the 9th. That's the day she finally sees herself confidently saying, I don't want an ex to come back and say sorry. I really don't. It's too much water under the bridge. I would rather meet somebody new. I would rather, it's almost like saying, I already know that would be tainted if I were to go back to an ex. So I don't want to have to do that. Now, let me just ask this. Is this just in her mindset on the 9th, or was there actually an ex who was, potentially going to be returning? Let's go ahead and ask that question. Death card sideways, there's not a real strong answer on that. The only reason I'm asking this, strength card up again. The only reason I'm asking this is because sometimes we talk ourselves through something and into a mindset that was really just us accepting the truth that we always knew. And I almost want to say she deep down kind of said, I don't think the ex would ever return and say sorry, because I don't really think that they are sorry, because I don't really think that they ever would have changed. It is unlikely that the ex would have changed. And that might be the bigger revelation to her. Remember, she was brave enough to look in the mirror with that moon card and kind of ask herself, do I really think that the ex is one day showing up a reformed individual, and that then we would have a happily ever after? And I think the 9th is the day where she goes, I think that's pretty unlikely. I'm not saying people don't change it, that they couldn't, but I think that this bears a lot of credence to the fact that we have a divine feminine who realizes not everybody wants to grow or change. And the likelihood of it's almost like that was always a bit of a pipe dream, is what she's saying. To even think that they were one day returning differently. And I say that because she has her third eye open and she's like, honestly, that wasn't even in the cards. Not really. I mean, you never know what someone else is going to do. So we'll leave the death card sideways, but mostly no. On the 9th, she realizes this. Ace of Wands, again, her looking in the mirror. Ace of Wands is, that was only one side of it, asking herself that really raw question, was the ex actually going to be coming back in? She's like, honestly, I don't think so. But the bigger question, who cares what they were going to do? Did I want them back? I need to ask me, what do I want? And as she does that, we can see her saying, well, I want somebody that never broke my heart. I don't want to have to forgive somebody for whatever this mess already was. So all of a sudden it gets exciting. It's like, dang, you mean I don't have to have something back that was already broken? You mean I could just meet somebody new and I could have a happily ever after, perhaps, and it could be everything I've been looking for? That sounds really great. Let me adjust to that idea. Let me think about what that would be like. Okay, so I'd have to flirt. I'd have to pay attention to the people that I think are spicy and sexy. I'd also have to maybe get a read on if I think somebody is. I almost feel like she's going to be observing behavior for a little bit and kind of like testing her intuition. Like, do I think somebody is just a player? And this could be that she's just noticing like other people's relationships also, or other people's behavior, and kind of clocking it and thinking about it for these, kind of next 3 months. We don't see her like diving in like must have relationship on the 9th. It's more that she's changing a perspective and a mindset, and she wants to approach love optimistically in a very powerful, positive mindset, but also none too swiftly. She wants to be wise about it. She's knowing she has to change her mindset. I'm officially single. I don't think about an ex anymore. I'm thinking about other people, but I need to get my bearings. I'm excited to try dating, but I want to be a little bit mindful about it, a little bit cautious about it. I want to read the signs that I see people displaying. And then once I feel like I got a handle on that, then maybe I'll be ready to approach. And she may be the one who approaches somebody and asks somebody out, but that won't be for a little bit before she actually does that. I just think this is her realizing, Queen of Swords sideways. Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and just consider how I want to do things different than I did in the past. Maybe I want to give the signals to somebody that I'm interested and let them approach me, or maybe I'll approach them. I don't know. I'll know it when I find it. Can I just jump ahead, universe, and just say, is there someone in the not too distant future that she will encounter, somebody that might be, a potential great match for her? Oh, yes. Four of Wands. Four of Wands is somebody who's energetically already kind of wishing that she would maybe notice them, or maybe this is just going to be someone who is, you notice how ready they are to meet a long-term partner. We have this hand reaching out, and we already saw her with the Four of Wands as well. Maybe this is somebody that is already on her periphery. We have Empress upright. This is definitely somebody who wants long-term, and it seems like there's already someone attracted to her, who thinks highly of her, who sees her as a real catch, and who would love to be with someone like her. Oh, God. I think it's Young Love. Yeah. It's a country song. It's just she smiled at him. He just said hi. But then as he's walking away, he's thinking, man, I'd like to meet a girl like her someday. I can't think who sings it, but it's a real sweet song. I mean, it's about kind of a shy, teenager meeting this girl. And, he doesn't even give the symbols necessarily that he likes her, but he's kind of blown away by her. And then, of course, later on in the song, they wind up together. But it just feels kind of, I'm not saying this is young love. I'm just saying that there's somebody already drawn to her thinking, man, I'd like to be with someone like her someday. And she's kind of the last to know that part. She doesn't realize that everything she's been looking for already is right there on the outskirts of her life, looking in at her already. Can we see anything about who you are? We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands sideways. Well, in their mind, either they've been pretty transparent. This could be somebody who's been really nice. I don't know if there's something to do with a pool, a hot tub, a spa, something like that. Maybe she knows them from, maybe she lives someplace tropical, but honestly, even though I know I should say this has something to do with aquariums or tropical or something like that, I only instantly saw a pool. And I thought, does she know this person like from a gym that has a pool? Is there something where they make a point of saying hello, even if it's very brief? This could be somebody who does nothing more than hands over the pen and the clipboard while she signs in at the gym and then goes off to do her workouts or whatever. It just, I don't know why this keeps making me only think of a pool or like an indoor, like a gym that has like a, like ladies only, hot tub or something like that. It just feels like he's barred from getting too close to her. It seems still like professional almost. And yet he's like, I've been very transparent. I'm always really friendly, but I know she doesn't know that I'm attracted to her. That part hasn't, I'm not in a position where I could really show that either. So I think it's, yeah. Oh yes. Hallelujah. Yes, that's it. The Judds. Yes, sweet, you're perfect. Yes, that's exactly it. Thank you guys so much. I forgot. Of course, that's the Judds. I could hear the voice and I knew I liked it, but I couldn't picture who it was. We have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, he juggles like should I be a little bit more flirtatious or not? Like so him or her right now this person is coming across as a feminine. Actually, we should mention that. Doesn't mean they have to be. The reason I think I was saying him is because traditionally that Ace of Wands would be masculine energy, but here we have feminine energy. So any way we look at this, that's always irrelevant to me anyway. All of our characters could be masculine or feminine or same sex or reverse gender roles. So however that goes, but he thinks a lot about and hasn't really seen a confident green light where he could obviously, or she could obviously flirt. But that's okay, because we already said this, at least for this story on the 9th, it is a decision-making process that we see happening possibly for a feminine, although of course this could be a masculine, but it's the thought process has been like clicked into place. All right, I know what I want to do. At a certain amount of time, I'll be ready to date. I see myself as single. I'm optimistic. I'll meet somebody. She just doesn't know that there's already somebody that she has met who has really great opinions of her, who kind of wants all the same things that she does. So that looks like it'll be fun to see. Hopefully she'll be given the green light, when it's the right time for her. But it definitely looks like it's going to be a lot easier for her to meet somebody wonderful than what she would think right now. All right, let me go ahead and grab a couple of cards for someone whose birthday is on the 8th, and then we'll also do one for the 9th. All right, so for a birthday for the 8th, we have a 7 of Cups, a High Priestess, and a 5 of Pentacles. So 7 of Cups is somebody who's kind of like looking at everything and wondering what they want to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But this is a High Priestess, and here she's in like her little witch's hat. So I don't know if somebody went as like, a character or something from like for Halloween or something along those lines. But this is somebody very intuitive, and it feels like we have a character who is aware they are going to have a multifaceted year, to put it simply. We've got somebody who, is going to be unmasked. She may be recognizing something, and it could be about a masculine who is not having the easiest time of his life. She may realize or find out something about a person. This could be somebody who's been trying to figure out how to say some things, and it might just like suddenly strike her. Like, I feel like they want to talk, or I feel like they need a friend. This could be a divine masculine who needs someone in their life, friend or romantic, I don't know. With that 7 of Cups, it says it could be anything, but it also says her life in the next year will likely have many different, like even different pets. Like she may be destined to get, I know it's a baby dragon, but I'm picturing like a sugar glider or some pet that is like, okay, I've never owned this. Is a little bit exotic. I didn't know I was going to have this little fuzzy marsupial, or she could end up, it just seems like maybe it's a hamster, maybe it's a prairie dog, I don't know. But that baby dragon is cracking me up because it's like mischievous and hanging over her arm, and then she's got this cat over here. It just feels like her life is going to have some twists and turns in this next year that could be delightful but unexpected. And yet, as a High Priestess, she probably will know this is going to be a year of surprises, but not know exactly what they're going to be. Maybe she was like, I'm open to getting another pet this year, but she had no idea what kind of pet is going to like randomly end up in her world. Now it's like, and now I have a rabbit. Okay, I didn't expect that, but I guess I'm now the proud owner of a rabbit that I found, something along those lines. It just feels like she'll know her year's going to be interesting, but it's going to be ever more interesting than what I think she would have expected. It does kind of seem like she's going to be taking in little lost souls sometimes, or, a pet that needs some place to go, a person who maybe is, feeling discombobulated. She may be the magnet for lost lost things that need a place, and that could be beautiful. And none of that seemed like she was just getting drained. It kind of looked sweet to me for some reason. So all right, and let me go ahead and get a couple of cards for someone whose birthday is on the 9th of January. We have a 7 of Cups, we have the Page of Swords, and we have the 3 of Wands. So this definitely looks like we got somebody who, again, with the 7 of Cups, is going to have a very changeable year. But in this case, instead of, okay, so what we saw for the birthday before, for the 8th, was like someone who's going to be like a magnet for, or come across things that need her. In this case, though, this is things that like are coming in to offer him, her, it doesn't matter. But we have a character who doesn't see it yet, but it's a year where we got that rainbow. It feels like happy things are coming in. It feels like our character is being, noticed. This could be somebody who's going to be sought after, like for a career path, or, someone who would search out our character for some kind of offer. This is like our ships are coming in. So it could be a wonderful energy in this next year. Still kind of a surprise, because this says our character doesn't realize that certain things have got our character pegged. It's like, feels like a good karma year. Like our character's done a lot of really good things, and now that positivity is like flooding into them. So super exciting on this. It's always great. I'm always excited when I see characters, doing so well and having successes come in, but it is definitely ships coming in. And I just feel like I don't know that I think it's even got to do with love and romance so much. That could be a part of it, but this feels like a new romantic partner. But the ships coming in are more visible to me, and I feel like they are very heavily laden with riches. So I don't know why. It just feels like a year of like great, success, great, wealth and positivity and commerce and such. So I don't know if that's going to be like standing out in a career or business path or wealth or something, but that's super exciting. Hi guys. AC, so good to see you, babe. Always it would be in our members videos, but don't worry about it, sweetheart. When I was in the members corner, I had asked you if I could do a birthday card pull for you, or when you wanted one. I know this is your month, but don't worry. I'll just add you right now since we are talking at this moment. Okay. And I'll get you set on both channels also. All right, sweetie. You don't have to worry about it now because I got you. I know. Hey, I saw that. And then I think you were already gone by the time I was done telling a story, and I was able to talk in the chat that other day. And I was like, oh, AC, let me know. Let me know when you're ready. If you want to wait till later on in your month, that's fine. But otherwise, yeah, the 29th is such a great birthday day. That's my very first friend of my whole life, and my best friend for my entire life is the 29th of January. And one of my family members shares that birthday as well. So in my family, it was always like the rivalry of like, how am I going to attend both parties, my family members and my bestie? And so it would always be like, a juggling act. And now I have another wonderful person who's the 29th. You guys are so awesome. Simon Setia, hi, honey. Great to see you. Yes, Angie Leo Queen. Yes, on Mondays in the membership, things will be a little bit clearer now because I don't leave comments on. I've turned them back off again. It was so much to manage during the month of December, and it was fun, but at the same time, I'm like, it was really kind of throwing things off kilter. I know for the members, because it was like comments were on everywhere. And normally I just leave comments on in the members corner. So anyway, now it'll get a little bit smoother as we progress into the year and we just leave them on in just members. And then it'll be simpler, I think, for everyone. Oh, that's so awesome. So on Setia, your daughter is also January 29th. What a great day. Hi, Laverne. Nice to see you, babe. Brandon Bailey, awesome to see you. RT, so wonderful to see you. You're such a love. You have 21 more days to celebrate AC's upcoming birthday. That's lots of cake. So you know I'm totally on board with that. Sweet. Thank you again. I love that. Sweet. The sugar glider is a small, omnivorous, arboreal, and nocturnal gliding possum that likes sugary foods, sap, and nectar, and can glide through the air like flying squirrels. I had friends once upon a time that were babysitting somebody's sugar gliders, and they were like, we just gave them a whole bedroom at the house. And I went in there and they were like, move slow. You don't know where they are. There was like 3 of them like flying around. It was adorable. They were so cute. Cater Z, wonderful to see you. Thanks again. Hallelujah. It's me, Victoria. Hi, sweetie. Oh gosh. It's 1:54 in the morning over where you are, and you just got off work. Oh, darling, you definitely work a late night shift, huh? Will you take good care and get some rest now that you're finally home? Answell, thanks again. Good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. I hope you heal swiftly, love. Loving Light Libra, really nice to see you. You guys are so awesome. I love the fact that you're putting in the lyrics. You guys are so lovely. Chart 2. Hi, sweetie. Happy Friday to you as well. All right, you guys, I'm going to pop on out of here and I'll probably call it a night for now, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Santa, thank you again. Annette Summersby, Alicia on her path, Jeannie Vale. Lots of love, you guys. SLH, hi, sweetie. I almost missed you there. How could I with the adorable little red balloons? I love that. You guys, thank you. Bellum B, hi, sweetheart. I almost missed you there also. Right back to you, love. And Brian, thanks for hanging in. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for right now. Sweet dreams, everyone.